In this video we're going to take a look at how to change strings on the BMG Special. Now I did a video about 6 years ago now changing the strings on this guitar, and I've had quite a few messages, people saying, one particular, Shay, just this morning, messages, I think messages on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook with the same question, because in that video I hadn't really gotten close up on the guitar to show exactly what was going on. I just changed the strings and talked it through. So in this video we're just going to take a close-up of what's going on with the guitar. Now the tremolo system on this guitar is a Wilkinson's knife edge tremolo, which differs in design from you. It is like a Stratocaster type tremolo. You will get them type on Stratocasters, but a lot of Stratocasters the bridge is like screwed down with multiple screws, where this, if you take a look, you've got the screws here, so it's mounted on there, so it balances on there. Look at the back, you can see the holes there, you can see where the springs, the little silver things where the springs hold the trem into place, and them little holes there is where you string the strings through. Now they're not all equal next to each other. One of them jumps up there, as does that one, but that's where the strings go through, and then obviously come out just here. I'm not going to restring the guitar because I spent about £20 odd on gold Optima strings. I'm not going to take them off and buy a new set for the sake of this video. I'm going to imagine that you've already know the basics of how to restring a guitar. So that's the actual Wilkinson's tremolo system, which differs slightly from what you may be used to. Now you've got the machine heads, which you can see. Now these are just the standard ones that come with the guitar. Just because I've changed these to pearloid, it's like the lug is different, but the actual machine heads are just the ones that came with it. Now a lot of people imagine, because these ones, and I'll read it out so I get it right, 3-a-side Grover 406 mini locking Rotomatic tuners, and because of the word locking, people imagine that maybe there's something to do like a Floyd Rose system, or that there may be something at the back that I've got the screw to tighten things up. That is not the case. If you look at them, I think I see Grover stamped on there. So the good quality, high quality machine heads. Where the locking bit, now if you take a close up look at the way the string is attached there, you'll notice that it's just looped around. Now I've probably left too much on there, but when you put the string through the little hole in the peg, you pull it all the way through and then twist, so there's a kink, so you're creating a little L shape, and then you basically clip it off there, just cut it. I use a pair of pliers or snippers to just cut that off. Now I've left probably a little bit too much on. Now the secret with the locking bit is the hole, instead of being drilled centrally all the way through like you get on most tuners, it's just off center a bit, and because it's off center, it means when you loop it through and put the kink, it locks in. The advantage of that is you have no wind on it, so it makes it quicker to change. You can do it really quickly. It means you can take the string off in seconds flat, and there's no wind, so therefore it is kind of locking in. And because there is no wind, because sometimes when you put a string on, there's a bit of give, so new strings tend to go out of tune a lot because there's a bit of give in the wind. So because you have no wind, you don't have that problem. Like I say, I left a bit too much on there, but you can see that is just a simple L shape, and then as you turn, it just tightens up like straight away. One thing to watch out for is when you're stringing it through, to go, because it's two-sided, three aside, you're going to go that loop that way on that side, and loop that way on the other side. And it means that when you're tuning up, there's continuity between which way you're turning. There's nothing worse than getting a guitar when somebody's put the strings on and each one's going right to tighten and the other's going left to tighten. You want to watch out for that. You don't want that. You want the continuity. So that's basically it. If you want to watch the video of us actually going through the whole process of changing the strings, sometimes it's difficult to be able to, unless you've got a cameraman at home, to be able to get close up and do things at the same time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there anything I've missed out? Is there any glaring fault? But that's basically how you go about. That's a close-up of what's going on with the guitar, and it is a brilliant design. Funnily enough, I've actually played the Super, which has Brian May's original tremolo design on it, and I actually find this guitar, I actually found it easier to play, and I do like these trems, and it does, when you dive bomb, not I do a lot of dive bombing, but when you do, it does hold its tune very well. So as always, thank you for watching. Look at how to change the strings on a Brian May replica guitar. Has the Grover lock and tuner machine heads, and that's where some of the confusion has arisen of how to change them, because if you look, there doesn't seem to be any wind on the actual string itself. So some people online have been asking, and there doesn't seem to be any information anywhere of how to change them. Simple answer is, it's so simple that it's unbelievable. The machine heads themselves have been designed so that it's quick and it's easy to be able to do, and you don't have any wind on it. So there's no need for any screwdrivers, Swiss Army knives. All you need really is a pair of pliers to be able to snip the that excess string. So I've just changed the E, the A, the D and the G string. I'm now onto the B string. So I'm gonna loosen that off. When you're doing a video, it always seems to take longer than it does when you're doing it by yourself. This one's got a bit more wind on. The other ones, when I took them off, had no wind on at all. And that's the beauty of them, that it does make changing the string a lot simpler. So as you see, there's barely any wind on there. There's hardly any string. So it's just like a normal Stratocaster way of doing it. Get our string. Oops. So just string that through at the back and such. And this is where the simplicity part comes in. I'm just going to thread that through, feed that through. The actual hole that's going through the peg is like on a little bit of an angle, so it doesn't go straight through. So that can be a little bit awkward to get used to if you're just used to stringing it straight through. But I think the idea of that is so that when you turn the machine head, the lock part happens so that the string's locked into place, so you don't need all the wind. So I'm going to leave a little bit of wind on there, where when the guitar came out of the factory it didn't seem to have much wind on it on the other strings. I'll leave a little bit of wind. I'm turning that now. just holding that, because I like a little bit of wine in case I want to do an alter tuning or something. Just holding that tight. I probably put a little bit too much wine on for what I actually need, but you can see that. Good to go. And now all I need to do is be able to quickly snap that off, and that's how to change the string. That's how to change the string on a Brian May guitar.